So in today's video, we're going to be going over how to install replacement windows, and we're going to also go over some of the most common mistakes people make when doing that. So this window specifically, as you can see, has a nice big crack in it, but it's also a single pane window. And one of the nice parts about replacing windows, older windows like this, is it's going to add immediate value to your home, and it's also going to improve your utility bills, right? Because you're going to be going from a single pane to a double pane. You're going to put insulation around the window. So the nice part about this is it's not that hard. It's something you can do yourself. You just need to know the right steps to go through and make sure it's done right. So let's get started. Now to start removing this window, we want to first take off our trim here. I need to remove these as well. But to get the trim off, first we want to score along the sides of it here. And just make sure it's not connected to the paint, because the last thing we want to do is pull this off and then have to go back and paint as well. So let's go ahead and pull these off here. And just put your pry bar back there. Start taking it off slowly. Now this is a common thing I see people do, is they get a bigger pry bar and they just start ripping the trim off. Now that's fine. You can do that if you're planning to replace the trim. And if you can, grab your nippers, pull the nails out. If not, you can hit them backwards too. These are nice to have. Now, if your window has stops, you also want to remove those too. This does have small stops here. They kind of go back into the wall. So I'm actually going to end up just cutting them back, and then I'll pull them out. Now, if you have some gloves, never hurts. Now, because I'm also not planning to put a storm window back on the outside of this, so I'm actually just going to take this out, put some PVC stops in, and that'll stop it from rotting out, but it'll still give me a stop so I can set the window in. Except for down at the bottom, where as you can see, we're going to go ahead and leave that sill plate in there. We got plenty of room with leaving that in. I would take it out if I didn't need it, but we don't need to take it out. Now I'm going to remove all the old nails here. If you don't have a nipper like this, you can definitely just cut them off with a Sawzall. That'll work too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that PVC stuff on the inside here. Now I'm also going to put another PVC sill down on top of this, and I'm going to let it go all the way to the wrapping here. That way this is protected. Otherwise, you could put some sill tape on here. Now for the time being, I'm going to leave this stop in there. I don't need to pull that out. I can just set the PVC right here, and that'll be fine. I'm going to dry fit this. That fits nicely. And then when it's all done, I'll come back and I'll put a bead of caulk when I go do the outside of it. Now, before I actually put this up, I want to mark my reveal. So I actually want a 1/2 inch the whole way down to show up. So I'm going to mark this at a 1/2 inch right there. And I'm going to mark this at a 1/2 inch. Now, if you want more reveal, you can. You could also get a 1x3, and that'd work too. This is just a 1x2. And like I said, I want a 1/2 inch reveal. Nail this down. This is a common thing that people end up forgetting to do, is to put a bead of caulk around here. Now, you can always come back afterwards and get it from the outside too, but it's good to put a piece in here. That way it creates that seal and it'll push it out a little bit. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and dry fit our window, and then we'll pull it out, and then we'll caulk around here on the inside, and then we'll set it back in. So let's see how it fits. So you want to make sure that you caulk around here as well. So caulk around your stops. Like I figured, we got to remove a little of that drywall up top to get. Kind of like I figured, we got to remove some of this drywall up top to get this in, but that's okay. Again, all right, so that fits inside there. Got some room for movement. Let's go ahead and pull it back out. Now what we want to do is we want to take our level and just set it in that bottom sill. The reason I like the bottom sill is because usually that's flat. and this doesn't give you much to sit on. So I'll open the window, set it in the bottom sill. Then you just want to see how level you actually are. Now, another thing, a lot of people forget to do this is that they need to square this window and make sure it's level. Right now it looks okay, but you can't just seal it up because it's not going to sit properly. You want it to be level in there. So we're not way off here. Now we need to check our sides to make sure we're all right there too. I'm going to bring this down, see how we are plumb-wise. That looks pretty good. So sometimes the window will be a little crooked, so you do need to make sure you look at the sides and kind of adjust there as well. Now once we get our window level, and we need to verify it's square, which we'll do in a second, but next we want to go ahead and put some shims in our side here and screw this in. Now most windows are going to have pre-drilled holes, but I will tell you, I've gotten windows from every brand and they've forgotten to drill holes. So it's not a big deal if they're not there. We're just going to put one on each side up here at the top, and then one on each side down at the bottom. And you just need to take a drill bit and drill them out yourself. It's not that big a deal, but we'll go ahead and get that done now. Now to make sure this thing is square, we're just going to go ahead and measure here. And yep, that looks good. And again, you can also just make sure it's plumb. Go ahead and on your sides here. And that looks good there. Yeah, we could come over a little bit on the bottom, which we'll do with our shims here. Put that in there like that. We can just take the other one and shift that over a little bit, and it does shift. So let's come over a little bit more. Now we'll do the same over here at the top, try to get this leveled out. Now we got that over at the bottom, but to get this the rest of the way, I'm gonna push the top over versus just moving the bottom over. Now again, this is one of the things that people tend to forget to do. We wanna make sure that that window is plumb too. Another thing I like to use the nippers for. Kind of cut my shims back too. It's pretty easy. Yep, that still looks good. Now, another thing we want to make sure we do before we start screwing this off and before we put our screws in, just make sure your window is still working and sliding as it should be. So make sure it still slides free like that and it doesn't catch up anywhere or anything like that. Now, once I'm happy with the location and I've got it squared off and we're level, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull these two tabs here, and I'm gonna take my 1/8 inch drill bit and I'm gonna drill out holes on each side for my screws. Now, if your window comes with screws, that's great. If not, you're going to use a number 8 galvanized screw or a panhead screw, something that will sink in so that if you do happen to go on the sides here, when you slide the window up and down, it doesn't catch. I just have a number 2 galvanized, not worried about it because, again, it's at the top and the bottom, so it's not going to catch on those spots. All right, now the window's in. Just make sure you can still open and close it without any issues. Looks good. So now we want to take a spray foam, something like that, and just fill in our gaps here. We don't want a ton of it in there. We don't need a ton of it in there. We just need to fill the gap. We don't want it to press in on the window, so we want something that's light. So as you spray that, you can move pretty quick because it will expand and it does come out quick. So there you go. Now the window is in. The next piece of this is really just going to be to trim out this window. But that is another video. So if you want to see that, stick around at the end or check in the description. There'll be a link to that one as well. So thanks for watching. As always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. We'll catch you on the next one.